Hello and welcome everyone to another quick edit video. This time I want to create a dramatic mountain landscape shot, therefore I'm using a lot of darker color tones and my main focus is to bring out those three mountain peaks you can see on the left side and also bring out the area around the sun a bit, while I darken the other areas in the picture. So first I want to activate the remove chromatic aberration setting, and I'm also enabling the profile corrections. And next I want to change the camera calibration profile to neutral, and then I can already start the basic editing. I don't think I need to change the white balance that much, just a tiny bit more yellowish. And I might add some overall clarity. And I'm reducing the highlights just a tiny bit. This time I want to start with the local adjustment straight away, so I'm using a radial filter. And I just drag it over my main subjects, the mountain peaks and the sun. And I want this area to be bright and everything around it should be a bit darker. So I'm reducing the highlights and also I'm reducing the blacks and the shadows. I do want to have details in the shadows, so I need to be careful with them. Maybe I even add some shadows and just reduce the blacks a lot. Then I want to edit the mountain peak area, therefore I'm using another gradiated filter and I just place it over the mountains. Now I'm adding a lot of clarity and I'm also adding some whites and also maybe a bit of exposure. Now I want to fix the area around the sun, therefore I want to create a light leak effect. Again, I'm using a radial filter and just drag it over the area. And now I'm just increasing the blacks. And you can already see what's happening there. I'm also adding a bit of a more yellowish white balance temperature. And I also want to increase the vibrance a bit. Now I want to darken the sky, therefore I'm using a gradiated filter. I think I add some clarity to make the clouds pop out. And also some contrast. And then I'm decreasing the exposure. Maybe add some highlights and remove some shadows. And also remove some blacks. And I also want to kind of make the sky more soft, so I'm adding a lot of this noise reduction thing. And I think I'm reducing the sharpness. I don't want mountains to be affected by this gradiated filter, so I'm choosing the brush and then I click on erase, and you can probably guess what this thing will do now. I think I need to adjust that light leak effect a bit more. So I'm just adding some exposure, but not too much. Alright, and now I'm reducing the saturation of the blue color tones. And I also try to reduce the luminance to bring out the clouds even more. And I also want to add some saturation on the orange color tones. Now in the split toning section I want to give my highlights a warmer look. So I'm going with something like this orange tone here. And the shadows should be a bit cooler, so I'm using a blue tone for them. Something like this. As you can see, there are quite a lot of underexposed areas in this picture, so I need to fix that now first. I'm using another gradiated filter and drag it over the underexposed parts of my image. And then I just increase the shadows, and this should fix it. Now there are still some underexposed parts, but I don't think they are that important to the image, so I just leave it as it is now. Alright, then I'm going to sharpen the image. And I also want to add a little bit of vignetting. Okay, now I am finished with the Lightroom editing, so I'm going to export it and I'm continue editing in Photoshop. Alright, first I want to get rid of those light things which were caused by the sun coming through the lens. Therefore I think I just use the healing brush tool. This should be good enough. Well, I don't think this needs to be fixed, and it's really hard anyway, so I'm just leaving it as it is right now. But I need to get rid of the lens vignetting. You can see the corner, and oh my god, there are also a lot of sensor spots here. Alright, time to fix the vignetting, therefore I'm using the clone stamp tool. Okay, time for the finishing touch. Again, I'm using the Nik Collection Color Effects Pro plugin. And I want to add some saturation, therefore I'm using the polarization filter. So I don't want the area around the sun be affected by this filter, so I'm going to mask it out. And I also don't want the foreground to be affected by it, so I'm masking it out as well. And I might add some contrast again. I'm using the Color Effects Pro plugin. Actually, I want to add a glow effect first, therefore I'm using the sunlight filter. Again, I don't want the whole image to be affected by this filter, so I'm masking out certain areas. I think this way it looks kind of nice. I might as well do some dodging and burning for my foreground, therefore I'm creating a new layer with a layer mask. And then I'm going over to image and apply image. Now I'm alt clicking on my layer mask, and next I'm opening up the levels by pressing Ctrl L. Now I only want to edit the bright parts of my image are represented by the the brighter areas, like this white wall here you can see. So I can reduce the bright areas by playing with those sliders you can see here. And so I'm just adjusting the image to my personal taste. Once this is done, I set the blending mode of this layer to overlay, and then I choose the white brush tool. And now only my highlights should be affected when I paint over them. Now I want to use the Nik Collection one more time. And this time I want to add more vignetting, so I'm using the vignette lens filter. And this is it. I'm pretty happy with the result of this post-processing. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you'd like to see more content like this, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.